What's up, family? All right, today we're going to do a book review. A lot of these books are old books that I read. I got new ones, but the reason I'm doing these is because at the time when I was reading these books, my daughters was much younger, and I said I can't wait till they get older, and I want them to read a lot of the books that I read. So I'm very happy to know that they have read a lot of the books that I've read. And the one we're doing today is called Married Men by Carl Weber. Very great writer. Now this book was about four friends. All four of the guys were married, and it takes you through all the trials and tribulations about this book. I will say one thing, I'm sure you may agree.
What?
At the time when I first purchased this book, believe it or not, I was a young lady about your age. She was in college, she was like 19, 20 years old. I had met in Jersey City. She turned me on to this book. And when I was buying the book in the store, I met her in the store, and she said, "Oh, you'll love this book." And when she showed me this book, you see how thick it is? I said, "What? I love to read, but damn, I ain't this book big as hell. I ain't reading all this." And I remember her exact words. She said, "Oh no, trust me. The book is that good. You're gonna wish it was thicker." And I said, "Really?" And we talked and had a great conversation amongst each other. And I purchased the book. And sure enough, I loved it. Not only I loved it, I remember at the time I had sent this book to a couple of associates of mine that were actually in prison. I had sent them the book, but at that time, you can't just send it to them. You got to get the bookstore to send it to the prisons. And I had sent this to quite a few people in prisons. But what did you like about the book? Oh, sorry.
Well, I liked a lot of stuff of the book, but one thing. What?
No. Let's just explain about the guys or whoever, who in particular, who.
I didn't like the dog in here,
and
obviously, which is a lot of females probably not gonna like either. His name's Jay. He had a whole family, like you said. They all had a wife, and did all of them have kids too, or just
some of them?
I know Jay had a kid too,
and
he was willing to risk everything for this college girl that he met, and he had got her pregnant. I don't want to ruin the whole story.
No, it's okay.
He had got her pregnant. Was willing to just give up his whole relationship of years for this college. Yeah, with his wife for this college girl. I didn't like that.
So I know what you mean. Like Jay was that typical guy, who you are married, you have a loving wife at home, but you just a dog. You still want to be out here chasing every damn girl. You ain't grew up yet. You know what I mean? You're almost like the slave master. The slave master, he wanted to have relations with every woman, but he didn't want to have a relationship with these black women. That's what he did. Jay was like that. He was just a dog. He was just willing to sleep with anybody. Even remember, he even one night was driving and found a prostitute and got his ass locked up. Matter of fact, Jay reminded me of a guy. It's no need to mention any names. It was a guy in Elizabeth way back in the days. I remember his girl was about 7 months pregnant. 7 months pregnant. This woman was showing. Do you know this fool was out messing with another woman, caught crabs, came back, gave his woman crabs. I love the fact that her brothers whooped his damn ass. But that's how Jay was. Then you had Alan. Alan was that typical Mr. Nice guy. Too nice.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man, he was too nice. And the girl just abusing him. Matter of fact, remember the girl who he married, all of them was at a bachelor party, had sex with all of them.
She was a hoe. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
She slept with all
his boys. And they told him, "Don't marry her, man. She's no good." And he was like, "No, that was back in the days, man. She ain't like that no more." We all got that type of friend. It's like we can all run through this type of girl, but this dummy, he goes in the room with the girl. He's feeding her grapes, talking about, "Why you letting them do that to you? You a good girl. You so pretty." What? See, he always got this dummy type of dude. That's who Alan was.
And didn't she still try to hit on one of them?
Of course. I'll tell you a funny story if you remember about Alan. Remember the scene in there? This was so funny. The scene in there where Alan was, remember on one particular day, he had bought some steak, and he had marinated the steak the way his grandmother or one of his family members taught him, and he put all the special seasonings on it, and he was like, "This gonna be great. Ooh, I can't wait. I'm gonna put this in the refrigerator. I'm gonna go to work. When I come home," and while he was at work, all he thought about was his steak. When I get home, I'm gonna eat that steak. And sure enough, when he came home, He's walking up the stairs, and he's like, damn, oh man, my wife must be in there cooking me that steak, boy, it smells so good. And then he walked in the house, and he seen a guy at the table with his feet up, eating his steak, that a guy that he's never seen before. And now his wife said, oh, Alan, how you doing? I'm glad you're home. I want you to meet my cousin. This is my cousin such and such. And now right away, Alan was like, I done met all her family. And I ain't never meet this guy. Who the hell is this guy? And he up here eating my damn steak. And then the guy was eating the steak. He said, yo, my man, your wife put her foot in this steak. You don't know what you missing. And he was like, man, I feel like going over there and breaking his damn neck, eating my steak. But that was Alan, and then you spoke on Jay. Then you got Will. Remember Will? Okay. Will was the guy, let me see if you can remember. Will was the guy who he had the wife. Everything him and his boys talked about, Will had the mistake. He will always tell his wife all of their personal business, and his wife will go back and tell all their wives and blow up their spot. Meanwhile, all of the guys was like, yo, man, Will got a big mouth, man. He always talking. He always telling our business. And it came back on Will ass because now, remember, they played a joke on him.
Oh, yeah. The surprise bachelor party.
The bachelor
right?
party, yeah. While he was knocked out.
But I like the revenge that they got on the wife.
The revenge was wonderful.
Oh, my gosh.
The revenge was wonderful because
she
deserved it. She wouldn't believe. They told her it was just a joke. So since she didn't believe it, that same joke, they turned that shit around, put it on her. Now she's like, oh my gosh, it was a joke. And she ain't like it. I live by that. Give a person a taste of their own medicine. They don't believe it. Last but not least, you had Kyle.
Yeah.
Now, Kyle, Kyle's story. I'll let you talk a little about Kyle, but I'm gonna put my spin on it because Kyle's there. Mine's gonna be a little bit more. What do you say about Kyle?
I would say Kyle, he had the white woman, black man, white woman, he owned a store.
Beauty salon.
Yeah, beauty supply store.
Very successful.
He never wanted his wife to be there because he would think like all the black women would not want to buy his stuff because of a white woman he married. Yeah. So he like hid her. I don't know. I think at first when I read it, I was like, if you love your wife, you don't care what nobody thinks. Yeah. But if you want people to come, you have to do whatever it takes.
All right. Now let me jump on Kyle. Now jump in anytime you want. The thing that I love about Kyle's story that really got me was the way it started out with Kyle. Kyle started out, he had put on his all red sweatsuit in the beginning of the book. And he went up to the train station because he's supposed to meet up with his boys.
Yeah.
He's supposed to meet up with his boys to go play some basketball. He had a basketball in hand, he had his all red jumpsuit on. And now while he up there waiting for the train, just chilling. Next thing you know, another guy come running up the train station with an all red jumpsuit on. Same exact, running from the police. And he runs right by Kyle, knocks Kyle down. Kyle like, yo, man, what the is wrong with you, man? And before you know it, the guy is gone. Next you know, the cops come up the stairs and they see Kyle getting up off the ground. Freeze, motherfucker, and all this shit. Next you know, they yank Kyle. He's like, yo, man, it wasn't me. It was the other dude. And they like, shut the fuck up, man. Shut the fuck up. And yo, black cop on top of that. Damn, it remind me of Boys in the Hood. Remember when he's like, you think you tough? That was messed up. But yo, the black cop puts the gun to Kyle's head, calls him all kind of derogatory names and said, I can't stand niggas like you. It's niggas like you to make the rest of our people look bad. No, he said, man, I'm telling you, it wasn't. And the guy like, he's like, yo, I said, shut the fuck up. You say one more word. Yo, he made Kyle feel like crap. So anyway, they takes him down, they put him in jail and this and that. Yo, Kyle calls his boys, his wife and them, gets him out of jail. Now remember, Kyle's a very successful, educated man. They really do got the wrong guy. And when he explained all this to his wife, remember, he loves the mess out of his wife. But he got a loving home. He loves his kids. He is the dignified meaning of a good man. But when he explained all this to his friends and all of them, they understood. And his friend's wife, they all understood, yo, that's messed up what that cop did, man. You need to sue his ass and sue the whole police department. Because later they did find the guy. Now, when he explained, even though all of them understood, when he explained it to his wife, remember, his wife is white. When he explained all this to his wife, how they threw him on the ground when he got back, they threw him against the wall, they squeezed his hands behind his back, they tightened the handcuffs, they put a gun to his head, threatened to kill him, and all. When he explained all this to his wife, all his wife had to say in return to him for for some type instead of consoling him, she said, "Oh, honey, I think you're making a big deal about this. You know what, honey, it's not that serious. You need to let it go." And he was like, "Let it go? What are you talking about? These men almost killed me. All because their sloppy way of policing, they didn't do their due diligence. And when I tried to explain, they didn't listen to a damn thing I said." And then she still was like, "Honey, you need to just let it go. I think, you're making a big deal about it. You're just going on and on. Every day you're talking about this case. You need to just let it go. I mean, really." That part got me, just like it got Kyle in the book. Because Kyle, as much as he loved his wife, his life, and his family, he said at that moment, as much as he loved his wife, for the very first time, he had looked at her as nothing but a racist-ass white woman. He had no longer looked at her as his wife. And I understood, because now it goes to show the psychological part of how mentally things can distort how physically you carry on with life. Mm-hmm. Because his wife didn't show him real support, now, through the course of the days, the weeks, and the months to come, that electricity bond that they had, that loving bond that they had, it was no more. And every time his wife tried to kiss him, he felt the funniness about it. When she got in bed with him at night, he didn't feel that attraction no more. She tried to rub up against him. It was nothing there no more, because mentally he was messed up. My greatest love didn't support me, didn't understand where I was coming from. Mm-hmm. So she put on her best lingerie, walking around the house naked in front of him. Yo, he became impotent. He became impotent because psychologically he was messed up. You remember? Because my wife didn't support me. Now the crazy thing about that, even it started to mess him up, because he was like, "I can't understand this. I do love my wife. I don't understand." He even went to a doctor because he couldn't understand, why the heck am I so-called, now all of a sudden I'm impotent. And it wasn't until a while that he had realized one night he was out at a bar and he seen a young sister that said some nice things to him. And just like that, he got aroused. And he realized he didn't cheat, he didn't mess around, but what he did realize, I do still love my wife. I do now realize.
Okay? Messing around.
He did?
Yeah.
Oh, see,
because then remember,
you just read it recently.
Because then remember when he went to the hospital because he got hit in the car.
That's right.
And then she lied, talking about I'm pregnant by him because.
Yeah, because she knew he was a good man.
Yeah.
So she was figuring, I'm gonna get some of his money.
That's when his white woman was about to argue. They was arguing in the hospital.
Because she still loved Kyle.
Yeah.
And he still loved her. But what he had realized, and I thought that was so detrimental. It's like, it really goes to show, if you with somebody that do not have your moral support, physical, everything about you, y'all not a real team. That has to be total bond. When you have that total bond, like what I got, because you're jealous. You're jealous of my wife, dog. You're jealous, dog. Yeah, you're jealous. Yeah, that's what me and Mommy got. But she's your mother. Nah, but that's what me and Mommy got. I don't care what it is I'm doing. My wife, your mother, has my total back no matter what it is. Mm-hmm. Rather we're doing lucrative things like Kyle was doing in the book, or anything, Mommy all the way there with me. And that's the type of guy you want to get with in life. The guy has to be totally got your back, because you're going to totally have his back, and together y'all will win. You understand? Mm-hmm. But Kyle's story really got to me. I said, wow, that was amazing when he said that at that moment, I had looked at her as nothing but a racist white woman. This is my wife who he was talking. This is his wife who he was talking about. But, mentally it messed him up. So, once again, how did you like the book?
I loved it.
Great, right? But at first you was a little discouraged. It was so big, right?
Too big.
It's like, what the heck? And look, it ain't like it's big with big words. It's little words. But I tell you, this book was incredible. But yeah, so Jay in the book was the dog. All he had a good woman. All he was doing was cheating on his wife. Mm-hmm. Will was the guy who he had a good woman too, but he had a big ass mouth, always running his mouth.
The girl of Jay's wife broke up with him.
Exactly, and now it comes back to that old story, or like the Michael Jackson song. I want you back. Ooh,
yeah, because then after she left, then he wants to try to work there.
Yeah, see, now that you see how did Michael Jackson song, remember, now I see you in his arms. Mm-hmm. I forgot how the rest of it go. He want her back now. She's like, nah, I moved on.
That college girl's father threatened him.
So Jay was the dog. Will was the big mouth friend who they knew they couldn't trust, because it's like, you talk too damn much. Alan was the soft guy who was like, you too good, man. You too good of a guy. And this girl is dogging you. But he had a silver lining, good ending as well. But she put him through hell. And then Kyle obviously was the guy who had the lucrative business, the loving wife and family, but he had a adversity ordeal with the police. In the end, he did sue, and he had a great silver line. All of them had a great silver lining in the end.
And what did at the end, was he willing to have his wife come to the store too, or no?
Yeah, exactly. It all worked out in the end. My wife read this book as well. What did you think about the book, Beth?
Oh, awesome. Awesome. Gotta read that book.
Oh, yeah. And like I said, it's an old book. A lot of these books I read is old. I read them a long time ago. So just reinforce and reiterate what I said in the beginning of the video. The reason I'm doing these videos is because at the time when I was reading a lot of these books, you know, my kids was real young. I couldn't have them reading this type of stuff. They're older. They're young women now. And I had always said, I can't wait till they get older. I want them to read a lot of the books that I read. And you tackled it, right? You loved it, right? And I'm glad that you loved it. Gives us a lot more to talk about, stuff like that, right? Mm-hmm. So if I can encourage anybody to do some more reading, trust me, it's a great thing to do. You have great interaction with your family. You can have this should be your book club. Your family be your own book club. You don't have to depend on other people, because you know other people always got excuses. And our motto that we have in our house is, we don't make excuses, we make
results.
Results.
Oh, you're about to get it. You're about to get it. You're testing that. I'm about to hit it with the
I knew the answer.
Marvin Gaye. Marvin Hagler.
Hagler.
We don't make results.
We don't make results.
We don't make
Look
excuses.
At you.
We don't make excuses. We make results. Y'all heard that from us. I need to, what do you call it? To put that in the print or something. Say I came up with that phrase. We don't make excuses.
Yeah.
We make results. Get yourself a good book. Love ourselves, right?
Yes.
Peace.